Thank you, Carolina, for stopping by today. This morning, I actually wanted to go over something specific. I wanted to address the stressful event that you may be going through or that is upcoming. Do you have anything distressful that you would like to talk about today?
Well, actually, I have an interview coming up for a new position in my department.
Can you elaborate a little bit about this interview?
Well, I'm feeling a little nervous about it because I'm thinking that I won't get the job and that they're going to feel like I'm not competent enough.
I see. So you're feeling a little bit anxious about this interview because you feel that they may think that you're not competent. And it sounds to me like this is probably something really important to you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Have you worked for this company previously?
Yeah, I've been in the company for 6 years.
Wow. Okay. So you've had experience with the particular job that you're in right now?
Yes.
And did they request for you to come to this interview?
Yes, they did.
Okay, great. Can you tell me a little bit about the thoughts you have in regards to this interview?
Well, I think that because I get so nervous and I stutter, that I blank out and I won't be able to really express myself and present myself the way I want to. And they'll think that I'm not apt to do this job well.
Okay, so let me just take a quick note here. You indicated that you are afraid that you may stutter.
Yeah.
So, are you afraid that you won't do well on the interview?
Yeah.
In general?
Yeah, and then ultimately not get the job because I didn't do well.
I see. And you mentioned that you're afraid that they may think you're not apt or competent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and consequently you're afraid that you may not obtain the job.
Right.
Okay, so could you say that perhaps 3 thoughts that you're going through are that you won't do well in the interview,
Correct.
they will think you're incompetent, and consequently you think you won't obtain the job.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, can you tell me, have you done interviews before?
Yeah, well, my last interview was with this company 6 years ago.
Did you do it with the same person that you will do the interview with now?
I think so, but there's no way in telling for sure who I'm going to be interviewing with.
Okay.
But I do know most of the people that work there.
Okay, so there's a great possibility that that the interview will be somebody that you actually work with already.
Yeah.
Okay, and during that first interview, did you stutter?
I did maybe once or twice.
Did you feel that greatly hindered your ability to communicate your point across?
Not really, I guess, but to some extent, I guess it did.
Okay. And it appears that you actually got the job after the interview. Okay. So you said that you stuttered a little bit, and to a certain extent it hindered your ability to communicate. However, you obtained the job, so it seems to me that it didn't hinder it to the point where they didn't see you competent enough for the position. Is that correct?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. And I know you mentioned that you have worked for the company for 6 years, and one of your concerns is that they won't think that you're competent. However, they did ask you to do the interview, so in a sense, they do believe that you're competent, and you have developed skills so that they would see that you would be apt for that particular position. That's why they requested for you to interview. Do you feel that you've developed more skills and the ability to be able to do this new job responsibility?
I definitely do. I mean, I've grown as a leader. I'm responsible, and I have very disciplined work ethic.
Okay. You said you're a leader, you're responsible, and you have a very disciplined work ethic. Are those certain characteristics that your company values or that they really are looking for in an applicant.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that any interview would think is positive to bring to a company.
So do you think that based on these qualities you would be a strong candidate?
Yeah, I do believe that I am a strong candidate.
I think so too. I think that you would be a strong candidate with these qualities, and like you said, they value that. They've seen your growth. There's a great possibility that the interview with somebody that you work with, therefore someone that has seen your growth. You indicated that they actually requested for you to take up this new position. So it sounds to me like you are competent and they see your confidence. Therefore, there's somewhat of an inconsistency with your thought process in regards to feeling that you will suck in the interview. Would you agree?
Yeah, because I guess like getting put on the spot, even though I know who they are, and I do feel comfortable with them, there's always, I always get nervous, and I'm afraid that I might say something that's not accurate with what I was really originally trying to say.
I see. What evidence do you have that shows, or that would suggest in the past that you have said something that was unintelligent or greatly prevented you from getting across your point? Is there any evidence that would suggest that that's happened before?
Well, I do, when I blank out, I usually just say the first thing that comes to my mind, and that sometimes it's not what I originally was trying to say.
But would you say that even though it wasn't what you originally thought you were going to say, is it still something that benefited, I guess,
Well, I guess so,
your response? Okay.
because I did end up getting the job, so
Mhm.
I guess it didn't hinder that much.
So perhaps, even though it wasn't the first thing that you wanted to say, it was still something that was beneficial to your response.
Yeah, I guess you can say that.
Okay, so then it wasn't something unintelligent, it just was something that you didn't originally want to say.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So in this case, there seems not to be very much evidence that would suggest that you are horrible at interviews. I know you said you stuttered once or twice, but that didn't greatly hinder you from being able to get your point across. You mentioned that you have these great qualities, you're responsible, you have a great work ethic, you have developed these leadership skills that these people that you work with have actually acknowledged and seen from you. So definitely I don't believe that they will think that you're incompetent because they know that you're not, since they've seen your growth and you've done well in your position currently. Therefore, if they know that you are competent, and you haven't shown really much evidence that you're a horrible interviewer, and based on those two, it doesn't seem to me that there's this great possibility that you will fail. Therefore, would you agree that perhaps changing these thoughts would benefit you in feeling more comfortable about the interview?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would recommend to you that instead of thinking I suck at interviews or believing that you will stutter so much that it will prevent you from being able to communicate your point across, for you to begin to focus on the positive attributes that you have, like those that you mentioned to me, so that way you can focus on how competent you are and therefore help you not to think that you will fail at the interview, and help you feel more comfortable in regards to the interview process.
And how do you, I mean, I'm afraid that my nervousness will still get in the way. How do you get past that?
I know that one of your concerns is stuttering or saying something that you didn't originally intend to say.
Right.
One of my other recommendations would be to practice, just thinking of responses that you can say and just doing it over and over again. Because if you do that repetitive process, then perhaps when you're in an interview, even if you're nervous, because you've practiced, you've already thought about the response, it may be more natural for it to come out. And so with that practice, you can also think, instead of thinking, I'm not going to be competent in the interview, or I'm not going to do well, you can think, well, I've practiced.
Right.
Therefore, even if I don't say exactly what I wanted to say in the first place, it'll be something close to
Right.
it, where
Okay.
it will help me get my point across.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, well, I look forward to hearing your success.
Thank you, and I'll be sure to get back to you and let you know how it ended up.
You're very welcome. Good luck.
Thanks.